from our folks after that's over with. But there was a race down in Nashville, Tennessee this past Saturday.
Did they get it in as cold as
They got it in, and the pictures, I'm trying to, all of a sudden this computer here in the studio has went nuts. So I'm in a flux right now, trying to get the Speedway's website back up. But the All-American 400 was, I think the 30th one, was held down in Nashville, Tennessee at the fairgrounds Saturday. And judging by the pictures in Victory Lane, everybody had on winter coats.
Oh, my gosh.
And it looked really cold. But John Hunter Nemechek
Did he really?
won that race. And when I looked at it earlier in the day, I think they had 36 cars.
It's a good field.
But
Good
John
field.
led 294 of 300 laps.
Wow.
So
Sounds like he's pretty dominant. Yeah.
Well, he won down there in the spring, and the car was disqualified for technical reasons after the race. So he was set on coming back and winning right, and the car passed tech this time, and he made a statement.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to say back in the day, I used to go to that race I know that. Back in the day, when ASA would run down there, and I think it was All Pro, they kind of go together and stuff, and it was a big event down there, and you used to go to it all the time. That facility there was just a lot of fun. You could camp, but the racetrack itself, it was just a cool racetrack to go to, and then you're, a couple minutes away from downtown Nashville where there's more action.
Oh,
so it's a lot of fun.
Was the funnest part about going down there. It wasn't the race. It was the night before down at
we stayed 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, down at Lonnie's.
Yes.
And down in Printers Alley, and then down on Broadway. Nashville, if you ever get the chance.
It's a fun city.
It is a fun town.
Yes,
so
it is.
Get down there. But it's a little cold this weekend. It's unseasonably cold. It went clear to Florida. I talked to Murph, or I got an email from Murph yesterday, and it was 40-some degrees in Auburndale, Florida yesterday morning.
Well, didn't they get snow in the eastern part of Tennessee and down in the Carolinas?
Columbia, South Carolina had snow.
Yes.
We were lucky.
We got flurries around, but I think Indianapolis had Friday night.
Well,
snow.
Actually, Friday everything was okay, and then Saturday night it got really cold, and the flowers out in front of the office, which I kind of take pride in that. It really looked nice, and the marigolds and the petunias and rosebush and everything were still blooming even after Friday, when we had that sleet and everything. Well, Sunday when it got down to 25 degrees and it was clear, it got them.
Oh.
So, there's a few still up by the office, but
done for the season.
Yeah, and I hate, people like fall and everything. I don't. I like spring because that means everything's coming to life.
Right.
In the fall, everything dies, and then it gets cold, and it gets dark.
Well, we set our clocks back an hour, so it gets darker an hour earlier now.
I hate coming to work in the dark and leaving in the dark. But that's just part of life. We're going to just have to live with it. Everybody's got their cross to bear.
Look at this. After December, the 21st or 22nd, the days start getting longer.
That's what gets me through the winter, trust me. December's going to be kind of a busy month around the Dawson household anyway.
It's busy all over.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other night about how many weekends from here on out we're busy on something.
Yeah. Congratulations to John Hunter Nemechek.
Yes.
You can watch him on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and I'm sure nationwide and soon the Cup Series is going to see John Hunter Nemechek.
These next generation of drivers like John Hunter Nemechek and Chase Elliott, Brian Blaney, they're all coming up. What a talented bunch of youngsters,
and what a bunch of good people too. Yes. Young men that they're becoming too. Hopefully, some of the nonsense of the fame and fortune doesn't rub off on them. I know Chase Elliott for sure, because I know his mom and dad pretty well, and they're good, humble folks, and I've watched them humble Chase a couple of times, and I think that's the kind of people we need to make examples for our young people. So. We'll look forward to looking for them. We had a car on the racetrack yesterday practicing.
Oh, it was a nice day.
Payless little 500 car
out
of the Armstrong camp. Caleb ran last year, and he was out there yesterday shaking down that little 500 car.
Good. So
along with Randy Neal, his car owner and sponsors, and kind of had a good time. But I know there was some some stuff involved to, see if they can't tweak that car.
Well, back in October the 11th, I think when we had the USSA Sprints there, we had several new guys there and went back and talked to a couple of them, welcomed them to the track and stuff, and then said, we're here for next year, getting ready for next year. Just get a feel. I says, that's good to hear.
It's going to be
exciting.
Big.
Yes, it is.
We do have a big event coming up this Saturday night at the Madison County Shrine Club, our 2014 awards banquet, where we're going to be honoring all of our champions and the other owners and drivers that made their mark on Anderson Speedway this year in a good way. We also have a couple of special awards we're going to be giving out Saturday night that we haven't done in quite a while, but there's a couple of individuals that I feel that are worthy of some special recognition, and we're definitely going to do that.
That'll be fun.
Looks like we're going to be it's going to be full house.
That's good.
At the Shrine Club. The the social hour starts at 5:30. We'll eat at 6:30, and then the awards will be right after that. We try to keep the awards section of it. Yep. We keep it moving. Everybody gets the recognition they deserve, though. We don't want to rush it.
Absolutely.
We'll keep that moving and hopefully be done around 8:30, 8:45. And Amy has got a ton of door prizes to give away, and we've got a lot of special awards and prizes to give to.
Need my running shoes on, don't I?
Yeah, you do. In case you haven't been to the website, there is a postseason awards summary posted there, and you can see who's going to be getting awards this year. Of course, to be eligible for postseason awards, according to the rules, I think you have to have competed in, if I'm not mistaken, it's 75% of the races in your division. And in the mechanical engine late models, we had six places. Jack Dossey III, of course, is our champion. Billy Van Meter, Jeff Markham, Kent Ballage, Rob Allman, and Joe Woodring. In the street stocks, Dustin Burge emerged in first place. Rookie of the Year, up-and-coming James Kirby was second. Andrew Cook finished
Great finish
third.
For him, yes.
Josh Poore, Danny Adams, and Bruce McFall. Then in our Thunder cars, we had, of course, Curtis Chapman in that close battle with Robbie Wyman. Then Lonnie Burton, Austin Russell. Jimmy Hawkins was in fifth place. Kyle Allman, Morty Lewis, and Austin Hawkins, who is the son of Sammy Hawkins, was in ninth place. Everybody remembers
We all remember
Sammy?
that one, don't we?
He was a movie star.
Yes.
I guess he still is.
Yeah.
Front-wheel drive figure eight, we had a unique situation. It's one of those where we only keep driver's points for the championship, and we had a owner and a driver champion that come from different stables. Elliot McKinney was the driver's champion. Jeff Williams was the car owner champion in the two-car. I think it was the two-car. Brian McKinney was second-place driver. Jeff Williams, Camden Creek, and Randy Hoppus were the top five drivers in the front-wheel drive oval. Jerry Dane, who pretty much dominated that division this year.
He did. He had a good car.
Won the championship and then Jared Keller, Billy Hooton, Dylan Hoppus, Marshall Clark, Brandon Cook, Austin McKinney, Devin Lane, and Jesse Thomas was the top nine there that were eligible. The Pro Compacts, the new division, we started
about mid-year.
Yeah, once we got the season started. Ron Phipps, who won the front-wheel drive oval championship a couple of years ago, won it. Kevin Harmon won the owner. Ron Phipps won the driver in that division. Kevin Harmon, Adam Lee, Randy Hoppus, Jeff Williams round out the top five. And then in our Thunder Roasters, past legend champion John Robbins won the Thunder Roaster Championship this year, followed by Doug Duggar, Marty Griffin, Mark Dietzen, Brad Kendall, and Ross Scholler in the Thunder Roasters. But right now on the line, we have probably one of our youngest track champions.
I think so, yes.
And maybe the youngest, at least in the late model division. We have the privilege of talking this evening to Jack Dossey III. Jack, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Doing good. You all ready for Saturday night?
Oh, yeah.
It was this was your rookie season in the late model and pretty impressive. You and Billy Van Meter put on a good competitive and for for most parts, a good, clean points battle, and Billy had some issues there late in the season, and you were able to persevere. Tell us a little bit about what got you into late model racing and how your experience in the Legends kind of carried over.
Well, when we were running Legends, we didn't really know what was next, and we kind of got talking, and we had always raced up at Anderson Speedway and saw the Sportsman late models run and the Super Series and all that, and we had talked to Jackie Neal and Tim Neal and Scott Neal, and we thought that it was best to go ahead and get a Sportsman late model and let Tim Neal be our crew chief and go from there. And so far, it's worked out great.
It did. I mean, you couldn't get a better setup, man, for sure, and probably spotter than Tim Neal. He's well known for those talents. I know you've been around racetracks probably guessing with your dad about all your life, Jack. Tell us what's different about racing at Anderson Speedway as opposed to some of the other tracks that you've been to.
Probably the difference is I remember watching my dad run trucks and some figure eight races up there back when I was just a little boy, about 3 or 4 years old, and what's really cool is I'm racing against some of the guys that he raced against now.
And your dad, obviously, Jack Dossey Jr., is probably
well known here in the Midwest.
He's well known and probably one of the best drivers in the area. So I mean, it's in your bloodstream to be a good race car driver. Tell us a little bit about you, Jack. You're still in school, and tell us what your aspirations are for the future.
I'm a sophomore in high school. I go to Franklin Central High School, and my future plans depend on if I get a sponsorship or not. And if I do, my dream has always been just about every other short track driver's dream, and that's to make it to NASCAR. And of course, you got to have a backup plan. And if that doesn't work, then, well, I still don't really know.
You're still, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
Believe that, folks, a 15-year-old champion. And it's not too early to start thinking about NASCAR.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you're one of those young men. You know, we talked about Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney and those young men that are coming up through the ranks now that have passed through Anderson Speedway. And nowadays it is so refreshing to see young men like them and you, even at your young age, who hasn't experienced a lot of the turmoils of life, have a good level head about you. I know there's been some adversities back in the pits on race nights and things, or not necessarily on pits, but on the racetrack too. Things have happened, and you really handled yourself with professionalism, yes. And that is so important. You talk about getting sponsorships. I don't want to lecture you here, but you talk about getting sponsorships. Those are the traits and qualities that sponsors look for to represent their products, and I think you're well on your way, young man, to reaching your dreams. Don't give up, because you set your mind on something, it will happen.
Yes, that's right.
So what's I know the whole family's coming Saturday night, and I know they got to be very proud of you. What are you looking at in 2015?
I plan to do maybe some Super Series races and with CRA, but most importantly, I want to defend my title at Anderson Speedway, and I feel that there's going to be a little bit stronger competition. I think that one of my competitors, Danny Trent, is going to try and run for a championship next year, and I believe Billy Van Meter will be too. And there's several other drivers that are probably going to be really strong, and I see it as a challenge, and I'm not going to let my title be taken from me.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a great attitude. Yeah, all these guys, you know, you mentioned Billy, Jeff Markham, Kent Ballage, and Joe Woodring. These guys are all going to step up their programs, and they're going to learn off of this year, and they're going to be tougher. But I know that Jack Dossey III and Junior and Tim Neal and everybody, they learned something too. So I know that makes our fans real happy to hear that news. And Jack, we couldn't be prouder of you, and we really look forward to Saturday night. And it's going to give me great honor to present you that trophy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, tell your folks we said hey, and we'll see you Saturday, buddy.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jack Dossey III.
What a great young man.
He is. He's a little bit like his dad. He's kind of a young man in a few words.
Yes.
But,
his driving speaks for him.
He's pretty humble, too.
Yes.
But he's another one of them young. I see him every once in a while that come up through the Speedway.
Yes.
We've had a lot of great drivers. We could go through that list
sometime. Yes, we could we?
That have come through the Speedway that I've seen. And I'm going to make sure I get my picture taken with that young man, because I think in a few years, just like that other one I've got in my office, it's going to mean a lot.
It sure is.
A lot to me. We're going to step aside, take a quick break, and then we got a NASCAR race that we need to talk about.
We do, don't we?
You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. We'll be right back.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
50 years ago, Tom Raper sold his first camper off a dirt lot in Richmond, Indiana. Since then, Tom Raper RVs has grown to be one of the largest RV dealers in America, selling the top brands at the best prices. That's why folks like you come from all over the Midwest to buy their recreational vehicles from Tom Raper RVs. Why, we reckon we've sold over 100,000 campers since we started. That's a lot of campers. That's a lot of fun. Tom Raper RVs in Richmond or online at tomraper.com.
Heart attack, stroke, serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings? Or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests and not this station.
Bon Jovi. How about Charles?
He probably told you that ahead of time, didn't he? Probably got here.
We're back.
I'm probably catching on to this.
Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. I got that without even one note. We're back. Gary Bong, Rick Dawson at the Mounds Mall Special Events Studio. We didn't race Saturday night, so we had a little time on our hands.
We did.
And what a fun way to spend it. Lauren and Brenda had a wedding reception to go to, and we went to Muncie and spent an hour or so with Aunt Jenny.
At Morrison Woods.
What a great, great lady. I mean, you just go and she'll make you smile.
She does,
I don't care.
She?
90, I don't
95.
think she mind. 95 years old, and in March will be 96.
Yes.
And she said, so I got that going for me. Her first goal is 100, and then we'll set a new one after that. And at the rate she's going, it'll be
it
forever.
Might be, yeah, you're right.
And she attributes it all to the big guy upstairs.
She sure does.
He says, when he's ready for me, then he'll take me.
Yes.
But he's not ready for me yet.
No, and we're not ready
That's just what she said.
We're not ready for her to go either.
But I tell you what, that lady, she knows Anderson Speedway.
She sure does.
She has not forgot a thing. She remembered me, and talks about.
Got the big hug in the back rub, didn't you? Like she's so famous for her back rubs.
And hurries back I guess her son Bob,
yes.
Goes over there Tuesdays and has dinner with her, and it's about the same time Track Talk comes on, so they hurry up and eat, and he has to rush her back to the room so they can listen to Track Talk.
And her roommate Beverly
yes.
have to turn down the TV so they turn on the radio so they can listen to us. So they
nice
should be
lady.
all listening to us right now.
What a great lady she is,
yes.
too. I mean, we
had a lot of fun.
They're a good pair in there, but we had a really enjoyable evening with
Aunt
fun. Jenny, and thank you, Aunt Jenny, for putting some light. Everybody needs to take a lesson from that lady.
You're right. You're right.
And
she's our track mascot.
She
sure is.
Mascot?
Well,
I'm not sure she would like that.
I don't know about mascot. She's probably laughing at me right now.
Aunt Jenny, next time you see him, give him a big swat on his hind.
She will. She's done that a time or two.
But hi to Aunt Jenny.
Yes.
Tonight, hope you're doing well, and then they're nice, snug, and warm.
Absolutely.
Staying inside. And Libby and Louie and Lauren and Brenda at home that are listening to me, we're in wedding mode.
You're kind of, what, month away now?
About 5 weeks, I think it is. So we'll get there.
Dad's kind of, I know, Dad. It's one of those changes in life, but you'll get through it.
We real quickly, and I want to make sure we mention this and put Lynn and her family in our prayers. But Lynn, if you're familiar out at the racetrack in the pits, is one of the ladies that's kind of a regular in the pit trailer. Her son, Spencer Edwards, I guess, and I just found this
with
out.
Huffman's.
Yes, I just found this out on my way here when I was talking to Chuck Huffman. Her son, Spencer Edwards, was coming home from school from Ohio. It must have been the weekend or Monday evening, and unfortunately had a bad car accident and was killed as a result. And that was Lynn's son, and our hearts and prayers definitely go out to Lynn and the whole family, because that's something that you just can't imagine, and it's something you never want to happen, but it does, and you have to deal with it, and there's a reason for it. We just don't know what it is. But Lynn, we want you to know that the whole Anderson Speedway is with you, and I understand the viewing is going to be from 2 to 6 this Thursday at Luce Funeral Home, and services right after that. So our hearts and prayers go out to Lynn. Now, there was a race at
Texas,
a big race in Texas this past Sunday.
Trying to whittle down
the race was really, until the end, was really kind of boring.
And they had the overtimes.
And then there was some incidents. Now, I've watched it a couple of times, and I'm not necessarily a fan of either one of the drivers, but the incident in question involved Brad Keselowsk
and Jeff Gordon.
And Jimmy Johnson was on the inside, and Keselowski went in the middle. Now, when looking at it from the angle that I seen, it could be argued that Jeff Gordon came down the track.
I agree with you.
Onto Keselowski.
You see the overhead shot?
Which I would blame on the spotter. I didn't see the overhead. That would be
the overhead actually shows Jeff coming down, and Brad was there.
And if that's the case, then it's the spotter, which is very common. You know how I feel sometimes about spotters. That's the way I seen it. Now, the the rest of it that ensued in the pits, which was
unfortunate that even got to that point.
I guess it makes good TV and whatnot, but was started by Kevin Harvick.
You're right. Well, we are on the same page
tonight. This is unusual.
Yes, it is.
Like Kevin Harvick had to stick his nose in the middle of it. Who knows? But here are these overpaid, whatever you want to say,
athletes, I guess.
Acting immature, acting like kids, and they're pushing and shoving, and then you get the crew members involved. But the unfortunate part was you looked at, and I don't remember who the gal was that was the ESPN report.
Yes.
She's right in the middle of this. And I mean, actually, Gordon's arm's going right by her chin. They don't care about anybody but themselves in that situation.
And if you notice, the two were talking at each other. I mean, Jeff came over to Brad, and they were talking. They were jawing back and forth. But nothing would have happened, I don't think, until Kevin Harvick came from behind and shoved Brad into it. And when that happened, it just seemed like, I don't know if the other crew members or someone did not see that happen. They just seen Brad being lunged towards the group, and then the melee started. So.
I don't know what NASCAR probably has already announced what they're doing. I can't get this computer to work to find out, but whatever they do, who knows?
You can't fault Brad for going for the win because he's in that situation right now. He has to have a win to go to the
final. Do you
finals.
think Jeff Gordon wouldn't have done the same thing?
He said, I read in the paper this morning, he said that he would have done the same thing last week in Martinsville to Dale Earnhardt if he had the chance. Dale Earnhardt Jr. So
it's all about money and sponsorship. I don't know. I'm assuming that Jeff Gordon really wants this championship so he could possibly retire. I don't know that for a fact, but I know he's getting to the point. There's been rumors, that he's talking about retiring because of his back and everything. And maybe that's what it is and why he's so emotional about it. But that's very, love or like Jeff Gordon, and I could go either way on it. That's very uncharacteristic of him. However, it's the, I don't know, it comes clear from the top of that organization, and you know how I feel about that. But it's too bad that happened. And NASCAR's got to do something, or somebody is going to get hurt needlessly.
You're right, but it's almost like they're promoting it right now.
We agree, so we don't have to get on a pedestal.
I know. Daggone it.
Don't forget to mark your calendars for Saturday, November 29th, Turkey Bash.
That's right.
Street stocks, Thunder cars, front-wheel drives, oval and figure eights, and mini cups. That's still in a few weeks. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And we spent a couple hours with Jim Warner for the annual Thanksgiving Day dinner that's coming up in a few weeks. They could still use some help and your contributions. And if you need information on that, just give me a call at the track. We've had a quick half hour and a fun half hour. We're looking forward to being here next week, same time, same stations. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll let you know how things go at the banquet come next week. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Have a great night and stay warm.